What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. A very busy July, a very busy middle of the summer movie season is continuing today with the return of the Man of Steel, Superman. We're going to break it all down for you today with my two amazing co-hosts, starting with my head of life mate, Jeremy. What's up, brother?
I don't know why I gotta keep unmuting myself, but like you can't fucking do that, but sure, here I am.
Obviously, he's enthralled to be here. Another person that's enthralled to give us his thoughts on Superman is the Shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's up, brother?
B-55, A-22, hut, hut, hut.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that scene? I can't wait to talk. Is
I
he playing Battleship? Is he calling football plays? What's going on here? I don't know what Luthor's doing, but I've got questions. What's up, everybody? How are y'all?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that either. Great. Gunn's a great writer, but there were some things that I was just like, I don't know.
No, he thinks he's a good writer, and we'll also talk about that guy too. I took 4 pages of notes I had to whittle down for this review, by the way. So, you're welcome.
But and then of course I am Frank. I am here to help corral these crazy bastards right here. But let's go ahead and get right into it because I don't want to go too late tonight because I am tired as all hell. But let's get right into it with what we're here for tonight as I get all my shit together. We're here to talk about Superman. It is the 2025 American superhero film based on the eponymous character from the DC Comics, written and directed by James Gunn. It is the first film in the new DC universe, the DCU, produced by DC Studios, and the second reboot of the Superman film series. David Corenswet stars as Clark Kent / Superman alongside Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, Edi Gathegi, Anthony Carrigan, Nathan Fillion, and Isabela Merced. In the film, Superman must prove to the world that he is their protector after billionaire Lex Luthor conducts a plan to turn public opinion against him. Superman premiered at the TCL Chinese Theater on July 7th of 2025 and was released by Warner Brothers Pictures in the United States on the 11th. It is the first film of DCU's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. Superman received positive reviews from critics and has grossed $217 million worldwide. This is as of Sunday, against a $225 million budget. On Rotten Tomatoes, 82% of 352 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus review reads, quote, pulling off the heroic feat of fleshing out a dynamic new world while putting its champion's big, beating heart front and center, this Superman flies high as a man of tomorrow grounded in the here and now. Some people have actually thought different. There are some people kind of shitting on this movie. There are some people unfairly shitting on this movie, I must say. This is one of those movies that prior to even most anybody seeing it was being railed online for this, that, and the other thing. The side of movie fandom that I can't stand. They don't even see a movie and they want to tell you it's going to suck or it sucks. Yeah, they don't know shit. But let me go to you first, Tex. Quick thoughts on Superman.
Yeah, obviously, y'all know I'm a Man of Steel guy. Henry Cavill's my Superman, but I put that aside. I put away my love of that, the tribalisms, all the nonsense that is so prevalent these days. And, like as Jeremy has said numerous times on here, being a DC fan you're basically like, a Cleveland Browns fan. You're always rebuilding. It's always next year, whatever. So I walked in with no expectations, with all the hope that I could muster up within my soul. And I got to be real honest with you. I walked out as empty as I walked into this movie with, and we'll get into the reasons why later. But not every scene needs a joke. Not there's so many things within this movie that we could spend hours discussing. But yeah, this one just kind of left me numb a little bit. I was not a fan of this.
I don't know, Jeremy, how about you? I think me and you went and saw it on the same night, although separate showings. What do you think of Superman? Give me your quick thoughts.
I had fun with the movie. Somebody stood up and was like, I think that was the most action-packed fucking comic book thing we've seen in a while. I was like, yeah, there was at least things happening in this movie. I think that I don't know if we're really just starting off with a little too much. Like, I know we want to have the seeds of the Justice League kind of put in there, but I'm like, well, it's a Superman movie. Maybe we should just focus on Superman and start bringing in people a little later, because we've been down this road before and it did not go well. So I don't know, but for the movie itself, I mean, like I said, I didn't hate it. I thought it was kind of fun, and obviously, Crypto was the hero of the entire movie.
Fuck
But
that dog.
that's
I wish
beside
he
the point.
fucking killed that thing. I hated Crypto.
Don't hold back to that place. I really feel. Look, I also tried to go into this without thinking too much about what people were saying, good, bad, or otherwise, because I've been saying for quite some time now, since this movie got announced, what's more important than box office is whether it's good or not, because DC has had an up or down kind of track record with its films, the comic book films. So I was just like, if you're going to restart this entire thing, then it's got to be good. You have to keep the good elements, build on those, get rid of the ones that didn't work in the Zack Snyder stuff, and try to build something new. Give us a good character of Superman that we can get into again. The way that we got into somebody like Christopher Reeve's character, the way that we got into over time, not Brandon Ruth, Henry Cavill's character. Give me something like that, and it'll be a good start. So the movie doesn't need to make $1 billion at the box office to be a winner. It just needs to be good. It needs to give people good feelings. DC really has to hit they have to have a couple of home runs in a row. This one, whatever the hell's coming next, I don't even know what's coming next now. They have to be
Supergirl.
You have to be good to build that momentum, and this was a good momentum building film. I thought there were some things about it that I kind of like rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my god, James Gunn, come on, use your brains, kid. You were there for when they were building some of the best stuff for the MCU. You have to be able to understand what that template means, and I think he's using it for the most part. But he still has some directorial things that kind of concern me. We'll get into that in a minute. We're not going to talk about the director right away because I'm going to bring that up later on. But let's talk about the cast right now. I'll go to you first, Jeremy. Obviously, David Corenswet, he was not a lot of people's first choice, relatively unknown. His career was building as he got this role. But what did you think of the cast of the film and who stood out to you the most?
I don't know if I'd call Guardians of the Galaxy some of the best moments of the MCU, but I mean, sure, whatever you say. I think you and I went to go see Twisters together, and I was like, oh yeah, this dude who's like on the team, you just lean over to me like, hey, that guy's gonna be Superman. I was like, what? Who the hell is this guy? I was like, okay, I think that's part of like hour one of like Superman being announced. I don't know how the hell you knew that, but I was like, okay, this guy, sure. In a movie about tornadoes, I'm like, all right, but if I see Kevin Costner, I'm gonna fucking start swinging at somebody. But I mean, I don't know. I think then a little while later we saw finally saw the first image of like him in the suit, and I was like, okay, you do the hair up right, get the little curl going, the classic stuff. I was like, all right, it looks pretty solid. I didn't hate it. If we're gonna keep playing on that nostalgia of the original Superman, like with the theme and also the brighter colors and the more suit that's more tailored to look kind of like how Chris Reeves' suits looked. I mean, I don't hate that at all. I think Rachel Brosnahan was pretty awesome as Lois Lane. She still got the quippy, snarky attitude she always did. Not quite Margot Kidder, but hey, I don't know what the hell Jimmy Olsen was doing. And I'm assuming was that supposed to be Miss Tessmacher? I don't know who this ditzy
the tall blonde was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I would have rather her have gotten like fallen off of a fucking 10-story building trying to take a selfie, but whatever. Get the story however you can, Jimmy. I guess. I don't know. At least they gave him something more to do.
No! I think
Nicholas
Jimmy's
Hoult
doing plenty in this world. If you know what I'm saying.
So I think he really brought his fucking A game to, you make Lex Luthor a pretty, believable force of like, when you have a character who's a god, it's like, well, what's the fucking point? I've hated that argument for so long. They're like, yeah, well, Superman's basically a god. I'm like, okay, you win every argument ever. It's the same reason why people make fun of me for not only when you're a DC fan, but when you're a Batman fan, you're also like, the front row seats of the Browns fans where you're like, yeah, but he's Batman. I'm like, yeah, it's the same stupid argument. He's Batman. I don't have to fucking explain myself. So you had to have somebody that has at least the capability of, just being the brain over brawn. And I think Nicholas Hoult fucking really brought that to the table. So he was pretty awesome.
I don't know. How about you, Tex? What do you think of the cast of the film? Who stood out to you the most?
Yeah, cast overall was good. My issues with this movie were not the casting itself. I thought overall as a whole, I'd give them an A for casting. For me, who stood out the most, it's got to be Nicholas Hoult. I mean, we've had so many different iterations of Lex Luthor, depending on your viewpoint. To make a really good standout one, you really have to try hard. I mean, come on, the scene where he's got the Indian guy tied up in that parallel universe thing, and he's got the 6-shooter playing Russian roulette with him. Bang! Oh, that went faster than I thought it would. And like he goes from this intense, like hardcore bad guy to almost like this gleeful kind of kid in like a second. And Superman's just sitting there like, "Oh my God, what did you do?" Whatever. Which he cried more for the one India guy dying than all of Metropolis, but whatever. We'll discuss that later. But yeah, casting wise, I thought it worked well. Rachel Brosnahan was good. She's still not my favorite Lois. I still prefer Erica Durant from Smallville. I think she's arguably the best Lois we've ever seen. But behind her, I'd go Terry Hatcher from the Lois and Clark Superman show in the 90s. But I'm not a Margot Kidder guy. But yeah, casting was good. As much as I despise the actor that plays Mr. Terrific, just because all the racial propaganda crap that he pushes in real life, I thought he did well as Mr. Terrific, even though he just kind of played the straight man. He just, he kind of played the role that Superman should have been, but they gave it to Mr. Terrific. But yeah, casting overall was good. I'd go Luthor best for me.
Yeah, I can't knock any of the casting in this movie except for one. I'll go into it in a minute. It's just a character that was kind of useless. The important part was nailing the casting of Clark Kent / Superman, obviously. I like that they went with someone who he is a bit of a visual reminder of Christopher Reeves. He's not the same kind of actor. He doesn't look a whole lot like him, but he looks fairly normal. Because, I mean, as much as I liked Henry Cavill's version of the character, he is kind of like, puh, steroids, no neck, no penis. He was kind of almost a little too ripped. And I think one of the things that made Christopher Reeves stand out in the role in the 70s was that he wasn't like super jacked. I mean, he did do a lot of working out to become fit for the role and was working out during filming and all that, but he wasn't like Henry Cavill. It wasn't like muscles on muscles, superly ripped. He wasn't such a cartoonish looking superhero. I like that that David Corenswet looked normal. He kind of carried that a little bit like Christopher Reeve did in the original films. And for that matter, like all the guys that played him in the serials in the 30s and 40s, they weren't like super ripped. They just looked like
George Reeves wasn't either. He was just kind of a built dude, but not like a ripped dude. Yeah.
And those guys by today's versions have dad bods, and they still look the part. So I kind of like it. They found somebody who was normal looking, fit and trim and young and good looking, but not like he just walked out of Gold's Gym or off the weights on Venice Beach where he was, doing heavy iron, doing heavy lifting with all these guys. He looks fairly normal. That's what I like. It's a good vibe. He did have a little bit of the Christopher Reeve in him. He also was kind of his own Superman, which is nice because, I mean, I look, as much as I would love a shot at playing a role like this, I don't know if I would take on the role of Superman. That's one that's got a lot of legacy behind it. It's got a lot of history behind it. And whether your favorite is Henry Cavill or Christopher Reeve or even Brandon Routh, it's not going to. And I know a lot of people will still like Brandon Routh's Superman. A lot of people are always going to kind of look at you as a bit of an imposter, you're doing kind of an impression of past Supermans rather than trying to just be Superman. But he came and did a great job, I thought. Supporting characters, the kid that played Jimmy Olsen, I love him. He's fun as hell. His name's Skylar Gisondo. I preach all the time about how funny Righteous Gemstones is on HBO. He played the youngest son of one of the characters. He's great for that entire series. I thought he fit in pretty well. My problem is I don't think they use him very well.
He was
I
a
think
plot
that-
device in this movie more than anything.
There was a couple of characters here that really disappointed me. And I like he's one of them. I like his performance. I like the character. I don't think he was used very well because he kind of was like, okay, so he gets this last piece of information that helps him put it all together, but he's not really the Jimmy Olsen that has always been in different iterations. I mean, especially in the Christopher Reeves movies in the 70s, that Jimmy Olsen was kind of like part naive, but was also kind of not a badass, but he was very adept in his own way. He worked as a great complement to the super aggressive Margot Kidder Lois Lane and to the Christopher Reeve Clark Kent character. That was kind of a trinity of everybody playing a role for what was happening. And I don't think that his character did that in this movie. I was kind of disappointed. I'm hoping they treat him a little bit better in the future movies. The other one is Miss Tessmacher. God, what an annoying fucking character. Hey. Look, I know that you're modernizing this a little bit, making her a social media influencer. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I thought it got to a point, and now granted, towards the end of the movie, it explains to you one of the reasons why she's doing this shit. But at the same time, I'm like, every scene where I'm trying to pay attention to good dialogue or what's happening, or I'm trying to catch stuff in the background, is her like, and I'm like, you are annoying the fuck out of me. I need you to get off my screen. Like, if I could cut this part.
Well, there's about 5 of those things in this movie that plot-wise I can talk about later that are just that. So,
and granted, it all worked out in the end. You kind of understand what she was actually doing, but she wasn't the Eve Tessmacher that we got in the original. Like, I wanted something like that. Someone who is, yeah, she's hooked up with a bad guy, but she's not necessarily a bad guy. She's somebody who will do the right thing when it matters most. And I found this version of Eve Tessmacher kind of annoying. Like I said, I get that she plays her part towards the end of the movie and helping get the information out or whatever, but I can't be that annoyed by someone for most of a movie and then suddenly start to like them at the very end. That didn't really work for me, especially considering that I am not into the whole social media influencer thing. It's like I do this for fun. I don't, purport to be any kind of important internet personality. It's like, so I can't really get into that kind of life. I mean, the rest of the cast, I love the Justice Gang or whatever the hell they were calling themselves. I totally forget.
Make you move, Big Blue.
I thought they were well done. I thought that
Hot Girl was completely useless in this movie. They did not need her.
While I like them in the movie, I still am kind of annoyed because I wanted this to center mostly on Superman, and it kind of does, but there's still a lot of camera time that's chewed up by other characters. And I was like, do you really want to use your first Superman movie in this new DCU as you're rebooting this whole thing to introduce all these other characters? I mean, it's nice to know that Nathan Fillion's there. Having him there was one thing. If they would have popped in for a couple of scenes, it wouldn't have bothered me so much. Or maybe even coming at the end to try to be, to try to give Superman a little bit of ancillary help while he does all the heavy lifting. That would have been fine. But they carry so much to this movie, especially Mr. Terrific. Like, part of me was like, is this Superman and Mr. Terrific? I like the character, don't get me wrong, and I like the actor, but I'm like, why is he doing all this? This is Superman, not Justice Gang helping Superman. That's not the name of the movie. The movie's Superman. He should have been much more the focus, and he was in the important scenes. But I was like, you chewed up a lot of time with the Justice Gang, and I'm like, I didn't quite understand it. And again, this kind of goes to James Gunn's weird obsession he has for oddball, screwy characters that maybe don't always fit. I mean, it worked out when he was making Guardians of the Galaxy because that's kind of what they were. That's kind of what they are in the comic book world, at least what they were before the movies came out. So it kind of makes sense that you would give him something like that, and then it makes sense to something like Suicide Squad, where it's all the goofy, ancillary, oddball characters. But it's like now you don't have that. You're not making a movie about those characters. You're making a movie about the comic book character, one of the two most important comic book characters in history: Superman, Batman, 1 and 1A, however you want to rank them. Those are the two most comic book characters ever, and you take a lot of screen time in a Superman movie away from Superman to give these characters who are only ever really going to be side players. I don't imagine a Justice Gang movie or whatever, the Justice Group, whatever the hell they're calling themselves. I don't imagine
Justice Gang is stupid.
Yeah, I don't imagine that movie is one that is on the fast track to be made at DC right now. So why make them so important? You had to focus this movie on Superman. When Superman's on screen, he's fantastic. I mean, dude, like this. He looks like Superman right here. Looks good to me. I don't give a shit about the red eyes. I don't care. I think he looks like a great Superman. He fills the suit out right. He's got the facial expression.
No, I've got no issues with. Like, yes, obviously, I'm a no Trumps guy, but my problem with the presentation of Superman in this movie is there's only one scene where they pay. Okay, this is Superman. This is, as Jeremy was talking about a minute ago. He's a living god on this planet. They treat him like Superman, or they treat him when he's Superman like when he's nerdy Clark Kent in previous Superman iterations. He doesn't get respected. I mean, even somebody like Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, goes nose to nose with him with no fear and says, "Make your move, Big Blue." They don't fear him. They don't respect him. He should be treated like Captain America gets treated. He should be treated like Batman gets treated. This is the superhero. And there's the one and only scene where even with Lois Lane, at the end of the film, once he's defeated Ultraman and stops everything else, he comes flying back down and Lois looks at him with the reverence of, "Oh my God, you are Superman." Up until then, he's the butt of every Joker. He's screaming about hashtags. There's no Superman in this movie. He's a mediocre man. He's Superman. Like I said, look at my tagline. This is not Superman. This is not what he should be. And I don't want to hear the excuse of, "Oh, he's new," because he's not. He's been doing this for 3 years in this movie. So this is not day one Superman.
But that's still relatively new, though. You're not talking about a guy who's been Superman for 20 years.
Okay, but if you can't figure out...
You still don't know what the hell you're doing.
If you can't figure out what to do in 3 years, then you need to get another job. Because this dude acts like he's... In that scene alone where he's in there with Lois, super shit, I hate that. He acts like he's a 16-year-old kid getting bashed on Twitter or something. That was embarrassing to look at, knowing that Superman. It's ridiculous. I like David Corenswet. He's got a good Superman in him. By the end of the movie, we see that whenever he comes floating down with his arms crossed and he goes, "Oh, I'm ready for the interview, Miss Lane." That's Superman. If we had got that through the whole movie, I loved it. But this movie, we see him get beat down, emasculated, made fun of. Hell, he doesn't even go to the Justice game to get help. He has a girlfriend, Lois, do that, who's trying to break up with him. There's too many James Gunn things in here. This is like, I forget who said it, but they said this is like Gen Z Superman. This is not what, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of this.
That's why I said that earlier, because you have a guy who's a god. The movie would be over in 2 fucking minutes if he was just Superman the entire time. You have to have something to be able to bring him down, something to give him to fight against. And that's why it's so crazy that someone like Lex Luthor has the brains and the money. Essentially, he's almost it's like if Batman was actually just evil. He has a way to bring him down.
You're not wrong.
Under his skin.
If Batman didn't have the the karate abilities, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he didn't send Lois. Yeah, he didn't send Lois. Lois went while he was in prison. He didn't even know Lois was going to talk to him. It's not like he sent
her. But you get my point.
If Lois needs
help, get my point. Cincinnati to go get fucking the rest of the Justice League. I was like, okay.
If Lois needs help, who is she going to go to? Is she going to Perry White? It's like,
okay.
What's
the one thing that you've seen in every Superman media, whether it's comic book, television show, or movie? Superman saves Lois at some point. That doesn't even happen in this movie. How did they forget that? Do we need that? Do we need that 30 seconds of Mr. Terrific slowly, comedically opening up the bay door to get to his flying decrypt? No. Give me some more Superman stuff. Not your stupid James Gunnisms that he thinks is just so funny he can't help himself. It's ridiculous.
Well, he needs some moments of levity in there.
Every moment had a moment of levity, though. That's my point.
No, you know what this movie also did? It's starting to become an annoying cardinal sin of, hey, we're going to put a bunch of text on screen and we're not going to show you what happened.
Right.
Hey, Superman did this whole cool thing.
The first time when you get to see this guy,
don't worry about it. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Well, because that was the beginning. That was the trailer. Because I was sitting there I'm like, that's a hell of a thing to open up on when you got Superman getting punched into the fucking snow, doing his best Yamcha pose. And I'm like, okay, but who the hell did that? How did that happen? You're not telling me that kaiju punched him all the way from fucking Metropolis all the way to the fucking North Atlantic. I'm like, what did that? You just didn't explain it. You're like, yeah, so this happened, here we are. I'm like, stop
3,000 years.
It only works. It only fucking works with Star Wars. You can have a crawl that explains and lays the groundwork for your movie. It doesn't do like a, hey, this whole cool thing happened. Can we see that? No. Fuck you. Watch the movie. I'm like,
well, you eventually.
Why are we doing this?
You eventually see him fight the Hammer of Barovia. Yeah, that's the name of the country. And it tells you in the text.
I can't wait to go off about that. Oh my god, I've got, like I said, 4 pages of notes. It's
not the kaiju that knocks him around. The Hammer of Barovia. And it's not like you don't get to see them fight at some point in the movie. That was a pretty dope fight scene.
But what? Well, I think but at least what Jeremy was just saying. The first time we see this guy, we're literally we see him getting beat up more often than anything in this movie. He's a punching bag, or as the Justice Gang is fighting that gigantic eye-looking thing, he's just sitting there slowly putting his boots on. That's not a Superman move. Superman wouldn't sit there and selfishly, the Justice Gang's got it. No, he's Superman. He's the reason.
Right after Lex Luthor told the whole world that, he's just here to fucking Genghis Khan your asses. And I'm like,
yeah, but Superman wouldn't care. Superman would say, "To heck with all that. I'm going to go destroy that super gigantic eye thing you got in the sky. I'll handle the rest later." Like, he's not going to sit there and mope. You know?
I thought it was odd that, like, as him and Lois were talking, you can see that fight going in the background. He's like, "Oh, it's just an interdimensional imp. They'll take care of it." And I'm like, giant floating eye with tentacles. You should be over there watching. Like, I would be, but that's just me. But
wasn't Superman worried about, like, whenever the Justice Gang was fighting the kaiju in the city, and he's like, "Guys, if this ain't falling, it's going to kill everybody." Shouldn't he be thinking about, hey, they're not very responsible. I might need to go at minimum watch them take care of this thing to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Not sit there and mopey take off my boots. Like, that's not Superman. That's James Gunn Superman. James Gunn was offered Superman in 2018 and turned it down because he couldn't crack it. That's his words, not mine. He couldn't crack Superman until Crypto was his way in. Superman, James Gunn, I can't wait to talk about him because he should never have made a Superman movie. Make him the DC studio head, fine, but he shouldn't have done Superman.
Well, he wrote the
movie.
Worst
part about the worst thing they did in this fucking movie. The worst part about this fucking movie is so I had to see John Cena's stupid fucking goddamn face in this movie. I audibly out loud in the theater said, "What the fuck?" And the guy next to me laughed. I was like, "Are we fucking still doing this?"
Well, and funny enough, he's talking about Superman killing people. Superman kills people in this movie. I don't care what anybody says. And I haven't seen, everybody was up in arms. Oh, Superman killed somebody in the Snyder movie. I hadn't seen one person complain about it online because that moron James Gunn did. I'm tired of this double-tiered standard nonsense. I'm going to tear into that too. That's ridiculous.
Well, let's take that opportunity to move into the plot. Since we've spent the last few minutes onto it anyway. I'll go to you first, Jeremy, since I'm sure Tex is going to go off on another tirade. What do you think of the plot of the film? Did it work for you? Is there anything you'd have changed?
Like I said, it's a movie about Superman. Now, I would have been fine as well if we had maybe not done as much as the Justice League, or at least the seeds of origin for it. Or like maybe like introduce him at the end, like, or maybe that's the introduction to him, is like getting like Lois Lane, getting them together to be like, that's the other metahumans you have on this planet. And it's like, well, our one hero just kind of got taken out, so we kind of need to, band together and go get his ass out of this pocket dimension. So I would have maybe done less of that. Just don't, we're trying to put the cart before the horse here with a lot of it. But as for if it had just been like a Lex Luthor versus Superman movie, I mean, yeah, I think that works pretty well. I think, like I said, he made a pretty good Lex Luthor to go against this version of Superman. It had kind of a similar, like, like from the original movie, like when he just like busts into Lex Luthor's office and just like comes face to face with him. Same thing in this. He just walks right through the fucking door and he's like, hey, like,
where's the
hell,
dog?
But I mean, yeah, I would have focused more on Superman himself. But I think, like I said, just if it had just been that, I think it worked out pretty well. And no Peacemaker, because I'm getting tired of seeing John Cena.
I'm just tired of seeing John Cena in his tidy whities. It's like they can't put him on screen.
It's not even that. I'm just tired of like his character. Fucking, I don't know.
Peacemaker show sucks. The only reason it's even being made is because James
I didn't
Gunn
even watch it because I was
I got halfway through the first season and gave up. It's garbage.
I will tell you, the last 2 episodes are good, but but the first several, it's like they couldn't make it through an episode in the first 4 or 5 episodes. They couldn't make it through an episode without showing him in his underwear, and I'm like,
of course,
I don't want to see him in his underwear.
LOL, funny, but I'm like, okay.
I saw him in his jorts wrestling with no shirt on. That's as much skin as I want to see of John Cena. But for some reason, they couldn't 5 minutes on putting him in his tidy whities. And once they finally actually got him in his costume and had him fighting people, that's when the show actually got good. And even the trailer for season 2 that came out a month or so ago, they've got a shot of him in his fucking tidy whities again. And I'm like, come on, stop me, John Cena's bulge. I don't fucking care. Show him fighting bad guys.
And the only other like little cameo I appreciated was when they were trying to evacuate Metropolis. I don't know if anyone saw it, but one of the highway signs said Gotham City, and I was like,
yeah.
No, you said it. No,
I was looking for it, but I didn't see it. I was looking for a reference to Gotham City or something.
It was very quick. It was when they were evacuating. It's on the left part of the screen. Like there's a shot of like a highway.
All the Metropolis emptied in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy.
And one sign said Gotham City. I was like, interesting. I don't know what you plan on doing with that, but good luck fucking to you whenever you do.
I've heard.
Give me a gray and blue suit, and we can talk.
I'm down with that.
I've heard that by next year's Comic-Con, we're supposed to have an announcement as to who Batman's going to be in this new DCU. But I'll believe it when I see it.
After we already have season 2, Jesus, Batman 2 for Matt Reeves or whatever his name is. When that movie comes out in like 2030.
There are 20.
I'm sure our great grandkids will love
Pattinson's like.
Well, I did read recently that the script for the Batman 2 was actually locked. There's a shooting script that they like, so we'll probably hear some news on that later. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep saying that the script is out there, so I'm like, okay, great. It's probably not going to be tied to this.
I think even James Gunn said that the script for that was locked. That they like what they have now. They're ready to shoot, but we'll see when we get there.
They better not put the Pattinson Batman in this universe. It would not work.
I don't think they will.
It would not fit.
They went with the dark tone for that. I'm like, you are not.
Well, it's not even the dark tone. That's the Matt Reeves versus another knockoff Nolan Batman world that everybody jacks off to because God help you if you do anything else with Batman. Give me a fantastical comic book Batman. I don't need to see another Nolan. We've got that. We've got the best version of that already. But that's stupid.
Well, Tex, I'll give you a couple of minutes to go on a tirade. What did you think of the plot of the film? Did you dig it, or what would you have changed? Which I'm sure.
Well, Well, half of the plot points come from Man of Steel or BVS. We're just going to reuse those, and all of the James Gunn bros just are going to jack off to that because he can do no wrong. But this thing's a mess. There's, one of the things I always say is, you need just enough plot to get from the next scene to the next scene. They didn't even worry about that. I was watching a film thread. Chris Gore was talking. He said, watching this movie is not like reading a comic book. It's like you're flipping through a comic book. Stuff happens so quickly in this movie. I'm not sure there is much plot as there is. It's set piece to set piece. The stories. There's so much story here that's not really needed. You don't really care. The whole plot point of Lois is going to break up with Superman. That goes nowhere. There's so much that you could have done differently here. The whole, Frank, you were talking about the whole Miss Tessmacher, being the whole, jackassy social media person that ultimately foils the plot of the, genius Lex Luthor or whatever. Yeah, that's a way to unravel him. But once again, it's Superman got so much help in this movie. He did not feel like Superman, which I think goes back to what y'all were just talking about a minute ago with there's so much extra. I think Jeremy was talking about it. There's so much extra around Superman. This doesn't feel like a Superman movie. This should have been like Superman and Friends, if you're going to call it anything. The plot was whatever. Like I said, there was little to none. It was, we're going to have action piece in the Arctic, and then in 2 seconds, that person is back in Metropolis. Does he have like portals everywhere to go in this world? Because the engineer, I've read her arc in comic books. She doesn't have super speed. Word travels fast in this movie. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not, but they go from like, we got, and I hope we get a chance to talk about this as well later. The whole redoing of the L family, because that's very problematic. I do not like that whatsoever.
I thought that was really interesting.
They turned Jor-El into freaking Jeffrey Epstein. They went with the
was
Epstein
he real
plan.
or did he doctor it? Because if Lex Luthor has a bunch of
No, they made it abundantly clear. They even went out of the way to have Mr. Terrific say, "I know those guys. They wouldn't lie." If they went that far, it's true. They turned the L's into.
I just kind of thought maybe Lex Luthor still had the means to make that seem legitimate. I was like, I don't think that's.
See, I thought that too, but up until why would Mr. Terrific vouch for Lex Luthor? Like that doesn't, make sense to me. That plot point was so dumb. There's so much stupid in this movie that it's just, it's James Gunn. And I like a lot of stuff James Gunn has done. He's a trauma guy. I love his Dawn of the Dead movie. Scooby-Doo, Brightburn is a good movie that he's done. He wrote Slither. He's just not right for Superman. He should have never made this movie. I can go on for 30 minutes. Please go ahead.
Well, there was a couple of things about the plot I liked, a couple of things I didn't. Like I said, I didn't like Tessmacher's storyline. I just thought she was annoying. I don't think they used Jimmy Olsen very well, but there was a couple of things I really liked. One of the things I liked about the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is that we've always saw the Wayne parents, Bruce's parents, as these wonderful people who never did any wrong. They were just the unfortunate victims of this one crazy moment in the alley behind the theater. In this movie, they were like, oh, no, wait a minute. They actually made a deal with somebody that ended up who wasn't a good person. And while their intentions may have been good, they were not perfect. They were flawed people like everybody is. And I kind of dug the fact that, they kind of gave a little bit of a flaw to Jor-El and to his wife. But also, it's not even really a flaw. They're not saying necessarily go take over the earth. They're like saying go spread your seed and have some more kids from.
Clark's mother said to kill anybody that wouldn't serve him. Frank, what are you talking about?
I have a feeling that we're not done with this yet, because I feel like there's more in this
that's
movie.
A cop out.
I feel like it might. Now I could be wrong, and I likely may be wrong, but I also think that in the end it didn't really matter because we still got the Superman that we've always gotten. He's there for whether they say it in the movie or not, which they should have at least once, which I am kind of annoyed by that. We do still have the guy who wants truth, justice, and the American way.
But you can't say American way. It's the human way.
What? Fuck that. Like I said, I'm annoyed that they won't say it at least once in the movie. But that's because woke Hollywood has to satisfy woke Hollywood. I'll just not care about it at all. But
they didn't even let Henry Cavill do it because he's like,
no, but there was at least
like, I'm also a big fan of justice. I'm like, you gonna say the rest of it, or are you just gonna?
But what you did have with Henry Cavill and Man of Steel was him standing in front of that gigantic American flag on that brick wall to get your hero moment in. They at least had that in that one. This one, they didn't even acknowledge it.
But also, I mean, look. If you think about it, they're facing the extinction of their species. If you were the last human being on Earth, you and your wife, and you sent your kid off to a planet, you were like, "Hey, do what you got to do to make sure you procreate because we don't want you to be the end of us." I kind of see it from one point of view, and let's face it, they are the superior beings to us. I mean, we don't care anything about stomping on an anthill. Why should they give a shit about us?
Well, they're not going to.
So they took Zod's plan from Man of Steel.
No.
Go ahead.
No, that's
Yeah.
different plan.
Okay, slightly different, but basically Zod's plan is what Jor-El wanted in this movie. They turned Jor-El into Jeffrey Epstein. He wanted harems and women.
I don't get
that.
For one, Jeffrey Epstein's a terrible comparison. That's not a good comparison at all.
I disagree.
She did not say go rape all the 17-year-old girls. She didn't say that. So you're
okay. They may not specify
an
age, but you get.
Yeah, but it's a bad comparison. It's just not good. But no, what they're saying is don't let our species die. That's what that's what's important to them at the moment. And like I said, let's face it, you don't think twice about putting your boot on an anthill. Why should they think twice about putting the boot on us?
So you'd be fine if an alien race came down and said, "Hey, okay, Frank, your wife is mine now." Though
they waited until their planet was going to be destroyed. If they could have done that at any time,
yeah, you're also talking about a wild hypothetical, so it's really hard to say. But I'm just saying,
I'm just saying what they said in the movie. Though.
I'm okay. You're putting me in a movie situation that doesn't exist. When Kal-El comes down here for real, we can talk. But no, I'm just saying that. Look, from Jeremy's right. They could have come down. They obviously knew we existed beforehand. Maybe not a long time beforehand, but yeah, they're fighting for the survival of their species. Like I said, you're going to think twice about putting your boot on an anthill. They're not thinking twice about putting the boot on us. They're out for the survival of their species.
So then Lex Luthor was right. He's actually the good guy of this film.
No. Because Lex Luthor.
Why? He's calling out Superman for what he actually
tell me humans wouldn't.
No, he doesn't know that.
Humans wouldn't do the same thing.
He doesn't know anything about Superman. He stumbles across that recording and has no idea what the fuck it says. He doesn't know. If were it not for the engineer going in there and doing her crazy tentacly shit with the computer, would never have known anything past what Superman knows about that message. So
so from that moment on.
He even says very clearly in this movie, yes, I'm envious. He says you're driven by envy. Yeah. Yes, I'm envious because I feel like I'm so much better than Einstein or Superman or Oppenheimer, and he names off all these people.
It makes him mad to be compared to. Yeah,
he really is driven by jealousy, envy, and his own self-importance. Right. That's what makes him the bad guy. He's not trying to save anybody. Trust me, Lex Luthor wants to run the planet the same way that he's trying to.
No, I'm not saying Lex Luthor is the good guy for doing what he's doing for the world's purposes. But relatively, the question what I'm proposing here is even if Lex is doing what he's doing for bad reasons, the second that he has the engineer in that lab and he finds out, oh, Superman was sent here to take us over and blah 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 whatever. At that point in time, he is ultimately taking on like Batman's role in BVS of if there's a 1% chance that he's against us, I have to do something. That's what I'm saying.
That's still thin. I mean, you don't call the bad guy the good guy because he's fighting another bad guy. They're both bad guys.
No, you call that an anti-hero, and that's what Hollywood is now.
No, because the anti-hero still will make the right decision at the end of the day. It's like Hulk knows not to beat up the other Avengers. It's just always look. I've said it 100 times. I love the Hulk because he's not necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. It's always the bad guys that piss him off. The good guys know not to. But that's the difference. Is Lex? He doesn't want Superman out of the way because he thinks Superman is bad. He's trying to protect anybody. He will 100%.
No, of course.
He will 100% throw his own mother under the bus to get what he wants. He wants power.
Yeah,
he wants,
and I agree with that.
Self-importance. He is not doing anything for a good reason. So he's not an anti-hero. He's just a bad guy. Now the difference is one of the things I thought was interesting about what they did here is by making Superman's parents flawed with the way that they think he should do this, is that you're showing that there is an inherent goodness in Superman that he sees in humanity. And that's why when he hears his parents say, go be there, yada, 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 whatever, with the first part of the message.
The point was he was brought up the right way by Mom and Pa Ken. That's the whole point of the end of the movie when they're like, hey, do you want to run the tape? And he's like, it's actual footage from his parents that brought him up the right way. Because like Pa Ken said to him, he's like, that says more about you that you did, you still turned out the right way. You didn't.
The most yeehaw people, to borrow Jeremy's term here, the most yeehaw people I've ever seen in my life. Clark, hello, can I talk on the cell phone? Yeah, come on, dude. Like seriously, James Gunn. Like I'm not. What that had to be.
You tell me that wasn't accurate?
No, that was what Hollywood thinks people from the middle of nowhere are. That's what Hollywood was.
It's Smallville, Kansas. I don't think
true.
That's pretty fucking accurate.
That was blatant. That was abundantly blatant to me what that was. Like, yeah,
it was kind of silly.
1,000 IQ fucking rednecks. That's not how that works.
I do think it was kind of silly that they made his parents out to be like really yokels. Like, because part of me was like, they were flat screen.
They were kissing cousins if I've ever seen one. God. That's all I'm saying.
I was like, they have a flat screen TV in their house. They're at least somewhat tech savvy. At least they know how to use the clicker, the remote.
That's still.
Like, they gotta have.
It's not really too different.
I'm sure Clark bought them a couple of cell phones. They gotta know how to use the damn things. But yeah, BJ says I thought they played the parent down. They did kind of.
I kind of thought so too. Like they didn't really do much with the two of them. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Christopher Reeves movies from the 70s, they're made to be modern for the time. Parents, late 60s into the 70s, and that fit. In the first one, the Man of Steel movie, Costner, they were made to be more modernly intelligent as farmers go. I mean, look, first off, I've been watching a few videos here and there about how farming works and shit like that. Trust me, that is a tech-driven industry. You can't be a farmer in the modern day and not know how to work some computers and shit.
But I live where that people live like they live. I can tell you, if you want to find people like the Kevin Costner Kent, you go to the modern farm. If you want to find people like James Gunn version of the Kents, you go to the trailer park. He didn't get farmer people. He went to the middle of the holler where everybody's related kind of redneck. That's what he got. Because James Gunn, thinks that's funny. That's what he got. It's ridiculous.
He went and found One Step Short of the Whitakers, if you ever watched them.
Right. He went to where somebody's family's tree is a stump. That's what he went to find the kids. It's a what does Paul Kent do in this movie? Oh, well, be the man you want to be, not the one they want you to be. Kevin Costner did that so much better at Man of Steel. He even did the whole, well, maybe you shouldn't save him, Clark, like talking about when the kids are in the school bus whenever Clark is growing up. The Kents were useless in this movie. If you saw the trailer footage, you literally saw everything about them. All Paul Kent does is cry. Even his wife makes fun of him. Why do so many men cry in this movie? What is going? Mr. Terrific's on
the point of Metamorpho. Actually, that was kind of
yes. They didn't even call him Metamorpho. He's Elemental Man. They didn't even use his real name.
I was like,
the only two men that don't cry in this movie are Perry White.
Well, it's the only way I think you were going to. There's no way you're going to explain how you got Kryptonite to take Superman, down a level. It's like, okay, but there's other ways, Lex. So you can, I mean, shit. What didn't Batman do that shit? He sent like Green Lantern to go get Kryptonite. And he infused it into an arrow for fucking Green Arrow, and he's like, hey, shoot this fucker.
In Dark Knight Returns, yeah.
I was like. You can do this, Lex. There's other ways to get Kryptonite. And also, I'm like,
he was only in there because, like Frank said, James Gunn needs his weird characters. And Metamorpho looks like a James Gunn character. That's the only reason he's in this movie. You're telling me if he knows that this guy is Superman, his kid is literally across the hallway from him in this prison thingy, whatever. Well, he sees... I don't know. That scene was stupid.
Wait, didn't they say like there was no Kryptonite left or something, or that like some of it?
That got me too, because I was just like, he's only really been Superman for supposedly 3 or 4 years, and they've already done away with all Kryptonite of the planet.
Yeah, I mean, like, because like in the original one, right, he had like that one crystal or so, right, but he took it to the Fortress of Solitude. I'm like, I think he had a little bit with him when he came to Earth, but I don't know.
Well. This is another one of those super easy, barely an inconvenience movies, just like Jurassic World was. Everything just Lex happens to find the Fortress of Solitude. He happens to have, and I understand this is a comic book movie, but you need to give me just enough to make it believable. I understand there's no flying men, that green rocks make them weak, but you need to make me believe. And there's just so much happenstance in this movie. I'm not hopeful for what's to come. James Gunn should. I've said it before, but James Gunn should not have made this movie.
We also did kind of sit there. We're like, I know that's pretty baller that like Lex Luthor just waltzed straight into the fucking Fortress of Solitude. I was like,
yeah, but how?
I first saw that and I was like,
another hour to explain like, oh yeah,
I wonder who could be under that mask.
Once. I was like, oh, okay, you could have maybe explained. I mean, okay.
I know. I saw that. I was like, wait a minute. This dude just walks into the door and the shit opens up. I was like, he really doesn't have like a ring doorbell or anything there.
Like, wasn't there that last big movie that DC made, The Flash, also had 2 versions of the same guy in it, filmed by the same person that didn't go very well. We had 2 Ezra Miller Flashes. We had 2 David Corenswet Supermans in this movie. The movie looked like crap. Just so many problems.
That's another thing that I kind of was like, really, Lex? As good as you may be, you scoured every battlefield that he had ever been on for one hair. You literally found one hair on a haystack the size of the earth. I don't know if you're that good, Lex. I mean, I would buy it that you found out that he was actually Clark Kent and you got into Clark's apartment and took something off his hairbrush. I would buy that.
Because they keep making that joke that he just keeps telling everybody he's Superman. I was like,
I'm going to get that reporter you talk to so much. Clark. Oh, yeah. Ha. Right. Funny. Yeah, we know. Okay.
I was like, you literally found it. That was another thing that got me. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is they referred to Superman as a metahuman.
Yeah, that's not real.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't know.
There's nothing human about it. Like,
yeah, that was
he's not a metahuman. He's an alien. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first heard him say that. I was like, okay, so metahumans are already being referenced, which is fine because we're eventually going to see people like the Flash and whatever. So those are.
You already have Guy Gardner and shit like that. I get that, but
but even Guy Gardner's not a metahuman.
Guy Gardner's not a metahuman.
It's the Ring, right?
Yeah, it's the Ring. Yes, yeah.
That's true.
Superman is not a metahuman; he's an alien.
People like Flash.
Like an actual.
Within this movie, you had metahumans like Metamorpho, Hot Girl. I think this was the Kendra Saunders version of Hot Girl. So technically, she's a Thanagarian, I believe, is what her race is. I don't think she's the alien version. I think that's what she is. Mr. Terrific's not a metahuman. He's just Iron Man without the suit, basically. He's the tech guy.
Yeah.
So there are metahumans in this movie, but to Frank's point, Superman is not a metahuman. He's never been a metahuman.
He's a superhuman.
But that was
Superman. Yeah.
There was also 2 scenes that I kind of cringed with. One was like, seriously, Superman saved a squirrel.
Oh, I hated that scene. I verbally groaned when that happened.
I looked at that and I was like, $400,000 for a special effect shot of him saving a squirrel? Yeah. I'm like, I mean, if he had saved another child, I would have got it. It's like him holding up the
like he saved the kid, he saved the girl, he saved the dog. But he saved him the
holding up the building while the chick can drive away before the building goes down. I get it. That all makes sense. But I'm like, a squirrel? It's like, dude, at least give me the visual of him getting a dog out of a tree or a cat out of a tree. That's got a certain amount of
okay. Do that in a montage scene. You don't need to spell it out for us.
In the middle of these buildings falling and people being in danger and lives being lost, you took a half second out of your time to save a squirrel. I looked at that.
They also took 30 seconds for a garage door to open up. Frank, wasn't that fun?
But did you like that scene? There was a comedic payoff to that scene, so that scene makes sense whether you like it or not. But the squirrel, $400,000 for a special effect.
No, I'll tell you what,
no difference whatsoever.
There's one scene that drove me even more mad than that stupid squirrel scene. When they're fighting the kaiju and talking about, we can take it to an offsite space science, lab thingy, or maybe we can find a more ethical way to put it down. So you're telling me
you get it into space
in the middle of a fight, Superman's going to say, "Hey, how ethical is it for me to do this?" Like, come on, the more I talk about this movie, the more I hate it.
He's trying to do the right thing. It's there is no real right way to do it, but
I was way more entertained with him throwing the grenades in there and blowing his fucking stomach up. That was a way more entertaining way to end that fight. That's what you needed.
Well, let's be
honest.
This was just Nathan Fillion being Nathan Fillion dressed up as Green Lantern. I'm like, that's
perfect. Nathan Fillion was one of the positives of this movie.
No, I know. Guy Gardner, it was awesome. Yeah.
When Guy Gardner was the most annoying, one of the most annoying DC characters is one of the best things of your movie. You're in trouble. James Gunn does not understand what he's doing. Yeah, Nathan Fillion's great. He's great in everything.
You know damn well somewhere, because he's never letting it go. There's gonna be a Firefly reference at some fucking point because he's a space.
Oh, of course there will. There's no way there won't.
He's gonna fly to like the Green Lantern Corps, and he's gonna see the fucking Serenity like going by, and he's gonna be like, "Heh, it's real shiny."
Right.
You know.
Well, of course. How could they not? That's one of the things he's most known for.
Yeah, the other scene that really annoyed me was the monkeys typing on Twitter.
Oh,
that was kind of funny. I get it. I get it, James Gunn. I get it. I understand why you put the scene in there. It was just dumb. I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was the whole thing on him being fired from Disney for a while because of some shit that he put on Twitter in the past, blah, blah, blah. And that was him taking a jab at those people. And I get it. I get his motivation behind it all, but I'm like, take your shots back at these people on Twitter. Why you got to waste a scene in a movie doing this? Again, $400,000 for a fucking effect shot that meant nothing. I mean, at least Saving the Squirrel had some action in it. This is just you floating in the pocket universe, looking at a bunch of monkeys like super bad or whatever the hell they were putting on.
Hashtag super shit.
Super shit. Yeah, that was it. I was like, I get it. And it's a momentary thing. It's mostly in the background, but I was like, dude, take your shot somewhere else. I mean, I understand because I was kind of on his side about that whole thing in some ways, not in others. But I was just
James Gunn's sense of humor does not work for Superman. It works for comedic Guardians of the Galaxy, not Superman.
That wasn't him trying to be funny. That was him taking a shot. That's why I say I get it.
Right, but is it real smart to piss off the people you want that are going to pay to see it?
I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute because I'm going to get to his comments in a little bit too. But it would have been more fitting if they'd have been like actual robots because all the talk is about bots on the internet saying that would have made sense. But it's like monkeys. It's like why? I mean, like I said, take your shot, you kind of deserve it. But in the middle, I'm trying to watch the scene where we're getting the villain monologuing to the hero about his plans. Oh, this is what I'm going to do to you, Bond. I'm trying to enjoy that.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, well, fucking here's these monkeys that are typing shit up on Twitter to piss you off." And I'm just so monkeys are the ones spreading all this shit around? Are you kidding me?
There's these things called
I don't know if he's smart enough to make the joke that, you put monkeys in a room, they'll write Shakespeare. I'm like, I don't think you're there yet, man. So
in 2025, we had these things called AI and Twitter bots on X or whatever they call them nowadays. Well, why not just use that? That works. We don't need a bunch of another $400,000 shot.
And how good is his internet that from a pocket universe he got connection to Twitter?
Right. I'm driving down country roads and I lose cell phone signal.
It's like you are not even in this dimension, but he has a good internet connection.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Especially when you tell me the arbitrary thing about the portal could have been the title for too long. I'm like, it doesn't work.
There were a lot of plot things that I kind of look. There is a lot of James Gunn writing style that didn't work a lot for this movie. It's like it would have been fun if Crypto would have just been like a character that causes some chaos here and there, some time chaos.
I mean,
opening scene in the movie, I get it. That made sense. But it's like the whole where's my dog thing. It's like, are you going for a John Wick vibe? Are you trying to say that this is the thing that is going to piss your man off that you took his cousin's dog? but the use of Crypto at ill times, especially at the end. I mean, I kind of giggled that he called Crypto in to like bite the robot so he couldn't watch.
Go get the toy.
Get the toy or whatever.
But at the same time, I'm just like, you have heat vision, dude. Just be like, bzz, bzz, and shoot these fucking things out of the sky. You don't need to rely on Crypto, but he's
DC needs their Grogu, their baby Yoda.
James Gunn loves these obscure fucking ancillary characters, and I'm kind of concerned about that. It takes away screen time. Look, the Batman Brave and the Bold, if that's what he's going to do next, that storyline.
Oh boy,
I wonder how many goofy characters he's going to have in that shit. I mean, are we going to get Nightwing and Red Wing and all these other wings and 75 bad guys and all this? It's like, I need you to introduce me to your solid.
No, Frank, is going to be even worse because I watched an interview yesterday where James Gunn wants to bring Batman into the Batman movies. That's going to go over real well.
I'm not against him going to some of these other characters after he's established the universe, but you got to establish the universe first.
There's not going to be a universe, Frank. This ain't going to work.
A lot of people don't understand. Marvel took a bit of a risk when they started their MCU with Iron Man, because while we know Iron Man now, he is a huge character now. Iron Man was kind of a secondary character in the comics, and a lot of people are kind of wondering. They're like, "Why are you starting your series of movies that you want to make with Iron Man?" And then Iron Man comes out, it becomes a huge hit. But at the time, a lot of comic book fans were like, "You sure you don't want to do Captain America first? You sure you don't want to do Hulk first? Bigger characters that already have a track record. Why are you going to Iron Man, who has never really existed off the page except for the cartoons?" And I think they tried like a live action thing one time somewhere that just didn't go anywhere back in like the 70s or some shit. But it's like, why are you starting with an obscure character? James Gunn loves these obscure characters, and you gotta, like I said, you've got the two best comic book superheroes ever in Batman and Superman. You build off those characters, then bring in Wonder Woman, who herself is a very big character as well, and then you've introduced the Green Lantern Corps, if nothing else, in this movie. So you know, like Green Lantern, you're a couple of big steps to getting the Justice League together. Great, but like, come on, man, focus on Superman. You have arguably the best comic book character ever. Focus on him. The ancillary stuff I wasn't big on. I mean,
Superman's not even he's not even the main hero of his own movie. Mr. Terrific does more superhero stuff, and he's more competent than Superman is.
Yeah, he's arguably the one that kind of saves the whole movie.
Yes.
I mean, were it not for him, Superman would have been kind of stuck in that.
Which, by the way, I'm not sure how a computer code stops a crack in the ground. Can somebody explain that one to me? That one didn't quite make sense, but whatever, I'll let it go. It's a comic book. But Mr. Terrific himself, he's the one that figures out how to shut down the portals. He's the one that says, "Clark, you need to get here now. We've got this going on." Superman is just, like I said, he's off doing other things, or he's constantly getting beat up. Mr. Terrific is not a main comic book character for the ones that don't know, by the way. He's at best a B character, maybe even a high C. But James Gunn has to put in his, B's and C's or whatever. If Mr. Terrific is the best character in your comic book movie, you're not doing well. And especially if you've got Superman, one of the two greatest of all time. That's not a good thing. Like, this is not going well.
Yeah, I was not. I mean, like I said, as much as ultimately, I know it sounds like I'm shitting on the movie. I did like it. I did like the movie overall, but it was not the approach I would have taken. Not at all. I might have leaned a little bit more towards giving it. And he leans a little away from the darker stuff that Zack Snyder did back to some of the lighter stuff, which is good.
He overcorrected from Snyder.
But I would have leaned a little more towards the feel-good stuff of the Christopher Reeves film from '77, and let that kind of and get people comfortable. Because one of the things this movie really needed to do, in my opinion, it needed to get people comfortable, get comfortable back in this world. And I don't know that the movie did it to the extent that I wanted it to. I am still I went into this movie cautiously optimistic. I think it had a lot of positive payoff. There's some stuff that I didn't quite like about it, but I think ultimately it's the step in the right direction. But I am, instead of being optimistic about this at the end of this movie, I am still cautiously optimistic. I'm not ready to put all my eggs in this basket yet and be like, okay, he's off on good footing now. Let's get to this next movie. I'm like, I want to see what the next project brings before I start to be like, hey, DCU is here and it's great. I got to see some really good progress in that. And I'm, like I said, cautiously optimistic, but I would rather,
considering the next 2 DCU official projects are a drunk party Supergirl and a Clayface movie, I'm not excited about either of them. You don't go number 2 movie with Supergirl. Number 2 should be Batman, should be Wonder Woman, should be Green Lantern, should be another one of the Justice League, Aquaman, even somebody. It should not be
Martian Manhunter, you cowards.
I would love a Martian Manhunter movie. That would be.
I would love a proper Martian Manhunter.
That was exciting if they teased that in the Zack Snyder stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I actually got excited for this. I was like, oh shit, but we're not going to.
They're basing that. What the next? I can tell you right now what it's already going to be, because I read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It's written by Tom King. It's this feminazi girl boss version of Supergirl that it's not good. It did not go over well in the comic books. Tom King is a well-known one of these Me Too kind of guys. It's not going to go well, and it's got like a $300 million budget for a Supergirl movie. That's not going to do great. And then you're telling me Clayface is getting a movie before Batman? Like, what is James Gunn doing?
Yeah,
it's so stupid. It's not. This is going to be another. Oh, it's a rebuilding season. We'll see you next year. This is what this is leading to. I can see the road we're going down. I'm not a moron. This movie, there are good elements to it. There are fun things in this, but overall, this is not what you start off a DC universe with. This is not a Superman movie. This is Superman and friends, and his friends do more stuff with the most annoying dog that I've ever seen. I wanted to see Ultraman take a piece of kryptonite, shove it down Krypto's throat, and punt that thing to Mars. Krypto sucked. I hated the dog. I hated this movie. I hate this universe already. And I am a DC purist, and I hated this.
Yeah, you're going to be getting more of Krypto and Supergirl. Apparently, the premise is.
100%. Yeah. So we're going to get drunk for it.
I'll transition into the last topic before the trivia with this. While celebrating her 20, this is the premise of the Supergirl movie that is.
Yeah.
While celebrating her 21st birthday, Kara Zor-El travels across the galaxy with her dog Krypto, so we're going to eat more Krypto, during which she meets the young Ruthie Mary Knoll and goes on a murderous quest for revenge. I don't even know what the hell that means.
It's not good. I read the comic.
You're going to left turn into that.
But Jason Momoa is going to be making an appearance as Lobo. So.
Oh, yeah.
Great. But, okay. Just make it somebody else, because you're just taking Aquaman and you're like, hey, now he's this. I'm like, he should have been that in the first place, because he would have been a great Lobo, period. It's just don't take anybody that's already been from Snyder's universe. Just, you're going to confuse. I mean, we're already giving it shit because we're like, hey, look, you know that guy who was Iron Man? Now he's Dr. Doom. I'm like, sure, but there's some precedence there, and whatever, you can yada yada why that makes sense. But now I have to sit here and accept that, like, okay, so now Aquaman is just going to be Lobo. I'm like, okay.
Well,
if you want to do, good.
Well, I was going to say, let me get your guys' quick thoughts on this real quick before we do the trivia. I already kind of know what you guys are going to say. I'll go to Jeremy first. Is this a good enough start for the DCU? Are you confident in where things are heading right now?
Well, if the next question is where are we going? I don't think that Clayface and Supergirl is really the way to go. If you want to do, like I said, you want to do a weird like ensemble thing, I was like, you already have it. Then if you want to branch off of something you made from this movie, go with the Lantern Corps. The Lantern Corps lore is fucking insane. That is something you could definitely explore with give Nathan Fillion, because we know Nathan Fillion, he doesn't have to prove himself. It's like, he's got this. You could make a whole thing about that, and that would be a cool thing to kind of experience, to get that into the universe. But
they can't even get lanterns right.
I don't know. Well, there's like 3 different lanterns that we've seen.
Well, they're doing the Lanterns TV show, but it's going to be on Earth, and it's going to be like season 1 of True Detective. Now, while I love season 1 of True Detective, that's one of the greatest shows ever done. I want to see Green Lanterns in space. Give me the Black Lanterns, the orange, the red lanterns. Go to space. You've got the budget. Don't put it in Kansas. This isn't supernatural. What are they doing with that too?
I'm trying to remember which Jon Stewart. That was the other one. I was like, because we've had Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and now Guy Gardner. I'm like, okay, cool. We're spreading out with just the Green Lantern itself. But I was like, if you dip your toe into that pool, you got plenty of stuff you can play with. I feel like maybe we should keep it a little more grounded. And if you're gonna do Clayface, I'm like, well, then that means Batman, probably. So I'm like, I feel like maybe you should have just gone that direction, because I would love to see how you handle Batman now with this movie you've done here, and how you're going to make that work and make it make sense. Because obviously, yes, we know Batman's the more dark character out of the whole Justice League, but I think I'd rather you have gone that direction. Get like what Tex said, get more of the heavy hitters of this Justice League that we're all more familiar with. Like I said, Martian Manhunter, fucking obviously Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Just get the big hitters out of the way, because I mean, you got somebody from DC or from Marvel who, like, we all want to say, like, yeah, they did it right. You built it all up and then did your ensemble. Like, so why are we still, just because we're at DC, doing the whole thing? We're like, we're gonna do the ensemble first, and then side characters that no one's ever heard of, like, except for out of like this group of the 3 of us here. We're like, oh, we know who that is. I understood that reference. Like, you're going to confuse people if you don't, do this the right way. I don't know. I think I'll take your word, Frank, and just say I don't know about cautiously optimistic, but I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'll hold my breath and I'll see what we do from here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it affects the creative stuff of this franchise going forward with Gunn not directing, because like I said, he has a penchant to lean on these really obscure, off the wall ancillary characters. If somebody
worked for Suicide Squad, I'm like, that made sense.
But that's what Suicide Squad is. That's what
that made sense.
That's what Guardians of the Galaxy is. They're these very obscure ancillary characters that outside of comic fans, nobody knew who the hell they were until the movies came out. Now they're popular, but I know, like when Guardians of the Galaxy, when they first announced that, there was a lot of movie fans were like, "Who? What are Guardians of the Galaxy?" And even some comic book fans I know were like, "Okay." It's like I never really expected to see them in movie form. But
the Guardians of the Galaxy that he used weren't even the ones from the main comic book at that time. They changed the lineup for that movie. So, like, they even went another direction for James Gunn.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what other people are going to be doing with this. Because so far, we've got Supergirl is being directed by Craig Gillespie, who did the 2011 Fright Night. He did I, Tonya, which is a really good movie. It's kind of got an independent feel. Tonya Harding, great movie. It's really fun to watch. He also did the Cruella. He also did Cruella, that Disney movie, live action movie about Cruella de Vil.
Sure.
James Watkins is going to be doing the Clayface movie, which I still don't understand. He did The Woman in Black, Speak No Evil. He did that movie. And then The Authority, which I have no idea what the fuck that's all about. The Brave and the Bold. I guess Andy Muschietti is still connected.
The Authority was canceled. The Authority is...
weren't they supposed to do that, and then they kind of just put that aside?
The Authority was going to happen, but it got canceled. That's why the engineer from this movie, she's actually a member of that team. But apparently that one got ex-nayed off the calendar, from what I read.
And supposedly James Mangold is still attached to do Swamp Thing, which I don't know.
I hope that comes true.
I hope that comes true. That's going to be kind of dope.
I love Swamp Thing's one of my... That Swamp Thing TV show that they did a couple years ago was amazing. And they announced that it was canceled before the first episode came out. That show never had a shot.
Oh, it's formed out of the remnants of Stormwatch, which I think they mentioned.
They said they have. Yeah.
They had Stormwatch, but it's like kind of that's what it is. Aren't they kind of basically like the boys of like the DC universe? They just kind of do.
That's what the Authority is. The Authority is
essentially the boys for DC.
It's basically a Justice League that kills, and their version of Batman and Superman are gay in a relationship. That's all.
Oh yeah, they did get married. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tex, I think we know the answer, so keep it brief. You have any good start for the new DCU?
I'll just keep it short. Hell no. We can move on to the next question.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, there's a lot of good in this movie. There's a lot of stuff that I'm concerned with. It really is kind of a mixed bag in a lot of ways. Like I said, overall, I think the movie was pretty good, but it wasn't phase 1 of Marvel good. It wasn't phase 2 of Marvel good. It wasn't honestly, it wasn't even phase 4 of Marvel good, which is really kind of scary.
No, I'll tell you what this movie is. This movie looks and feels like a DCEU movie after Snyder left. You could put this movie in with The Flash, Blue Beetle, Black Adam, all of those other terrible movies, Shazam 2. It looks and feels just like those. It's not good. There are good elements within this movie. I like the Silver Age comic booky stuff. There's ideas that work here, but not with James Gunn, because James Gunn can't get out of his own way. He thinks he's got a big head because, oh, look what I did for Guardians. Well, that works for Guardians. That doesn't work for everything. I mean, that would be like me trying to direct a romantic comedy with my horror sensibilities. It's not going to go over well. I don't fit in that role.
Actually, Hard Eyes is that exact movie you just described.
I don't know if I'd call that
and we thought Hard Eyes was kind of fun. I mean, not the best movie ever made.
Okay, but the point of Hard Eyes is that was a send-up of the romantic. That's I would say that's more comedy than romance. That's just the romance is little in that movie, but you get my point of what I'm saying. James Gunn and his sensibilities don't work for DC. DC is a darker brand than Marvel. We don't. I
think what he's saying is if we asked Tex to make a remake of The Notebook, I think he would fucking struggle a little bit.
It would be hard.
Yeah, it would. I'm gonna have everybody's gonna die, and that's the end. That's how it's gonna go. James Gunn
that is the end of The Notebook. They both fucking died, so I guess you're right.
Well,
but they
in my version.
They wouldn't die peacefully of like Alzheimer's. They would die.
Oh no!
Fuck that depressing ass movie. No,
there's going to be wood chippers and chainsaws and all kinds of fun toys in my version of the
flesh-eating diseases. Probably a couple of.
Oh yeah, zombies are going to be there for no reason. It's going to be great.
Fucking Notebook was depressing as hell. No.
Let's move on to some of the trivia now, and I found a fair amount for this movie that was kind of surprising, but. I some of the better ones. Let's see. Will Reeves' cameo in the film was first reported in July 2024 by Cleveland's local newspaper, The Plain Dealer, with it being shot during exterior filming that was underway in Cleveland's public square. Reeve is the youngest child of former Superman star Christopher Reeve and was only 3 years old when his father was injured in an accident that left him paralyzed. In his appearance in this movie, Will Reeves plays a TV news reporter, while in real life, Reeve was a television correspondent for ABC News.
Nice. Yeah, I saw him in this. I thought that was cool.
Part of me
go back to the original.
Part of me, it was a nice little piece of connective tissue. It was a nice little thing that just kind of makes you go, "This fits." You need that one kind of emotional thing to kind of like bring Christopher Reeve into it somehow. It fit, and if a lot of people probably didn't recognize it, but I watch a lot of news, so I kind of saw it coming. But a part of me kind of wonders if you'd have offered him the role.
He looks like his dad. I'll say that much. They're very similar.
He looked like his dad, but he looks just like himself. He could wear the suit and look like Superman and look like Clark Kent. And he is
but
journalist in real life.
I don't go around any horses. He's not an actor. It's like he hasn't acted.
No, he's not. He's a correspondent for ABC News. But another thing that I found kind of interesting about him even being in it is it used to be in the 70s and 80s, and I really think into the 90s that news personalities were shot stuff for movies and television shows all the time. And they ended up getting away from it because news corporations didn't want their newscasters to be on something like War of the Worlds or some kind of disaster film and have people think for some reason that was actually happening. And so, so for a long time, for most of the 2000s, it was contracted into these people's contracts with their news organizations that they wouldn't do anything like this, anything on TV. And it's nice to, now I don't know if he got a waiver to do this because of his dad, and ABC News was like, well, we'll let this slide now because of the familial connection. But but yeah, it's pretty rare these days to see an actual news personality in a TV or movie portraying.
Yeah, but
else, really.
We're also in a very different time now where I'm sure his news station marketed the hell out of, hey, our reporter's in Superman. I'm be willing to bet they did that.
What's funny is he works for ABC. ABC is owned by Disney, who owns Marvel.
Right. Well, that's
so crossover. It's gonna happen.
It's crossover. They own everything. It doesn't.
But everybody steals shit from movie sets. They always do. 5 Green Lantern rings were made for the film. Nathan Fillion kept one and wore it to the premiere.
Of course he did.
What? They had to have given
please tell me you stole all the rings.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, I don't have an issue with actors taking a piece of, all like I think Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe said like he took the glasses in one of the robes or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like, okay, if you're like, okay, I'm playing Batman and this whole suit is coming home with me, that I can understand. That's like thousands of dollars. But one ring, come on, he's Nathan Fillion. Give it to him.
Yeah, the problem is it's one ring, but it's one of 5, so it's limited. There's not many of them made, and to top it off, you never know if that thing's going to make its way to a. I've watched a couple videos here and there about these prop shops in LA. You can go; they collect this stuff, and you can come in and buy it for sometimes obscene amounts of money. I mean, they've got props that were used like in Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland. You can like have a dress, or they have like a swatch of the fur from the Cowardly Lion's costume or something like that, and it's all authenticated. And there's 3 or 4 big shops in LA that hold stuff like this. I wouldn't want anything like that to make it out like that.
Well,
but that's how collectors find shit. So whatever.
I know, like whenever Tyler Mane, he was Rob Zombie's Michael Myers. He was given a couple of the masks and one of the knives because he did 2 Halloween films. Hell, I got a cameo from him years ago where he showed it off in the cameo. He has it like in a glass case in his house or whatever. So, I mean, the fact that Nathan Fillion wore this ring to the premiere, it's not like he was hiding it away for a payday. Like, he didn't like stick it in his pocket and sneak out the back door. So, we're probably fine.
I'm sure he's got it locked up somewhere anyway. But let's see.
It was Malcolm Reynolds' outfit, probably.
Yeah. I don't have a good picture of him because there really wasn't any in the movie. But did you guys catch the name Otis? The full name of the character is Otis Berg. A member of Lex Luthor's Luthor crew, is a playful nod to Otisburg, the seaside spot penciled in by Ned Beatty's character, Otis, on the map of his boss's evil waterfront scheme in the original Superman from 1978.
Yeah, but this Otis wasn't funny, though.
I knew that he wasn't a big. When he called him Otis the first time, I was like, okay, I get the connection. That's a nice little psychic wink to the original Superman.
Yeah.
And part of me kind of wondered, I was like, is this guy going to become important? I'm like, probably not, because he's only really on screen for about 3.5 seconds, if that, in this movie. Right. Probably more screen time if he was going to be important down the line. I get it was just like it was a small Easter egg. I was okay with it. I thought it was kind of fun.
I mean, the guy that plays him is no Ned Beatty, but if like I don't have a problem with the racial recasting to Otis. Who cares who plays the role? But you gotta at least, if you're gonna bring that character, bring a little bit of the funny that Ned Beatty did. That was his whole point of his role.
But that's the thing, is the Otis character wouldn't fit in this incarnation because because Gene Hackman, for all his diabolical shit that he does in the original Christopher Reeve series, he is a full-on bad guy, but he is still comedic in a sense. He has moments where he delivers the joke, kind of mean, kind of heavy-fisted, but he delivers the joke. because Hackman was a fucking great actor.
Well,
he could do comedy, he could do drama, whatever. But he has those moments of comedy that played off well against the comedy stylings of Ned Beatty back in the day. I don't think that there's nothing comedic about Lex Luthor in this movie.
When it comes to Lex Luthor, I do have one.
Like I said, they made Miss Tessmacher basically like a glorified groupie. I'm like, okay, we're not really doing this, are we? We're just kind of, she's there and she's there to kind of feed the information.
There's my biggest gripe about Lex Luthor. We have seen Lex Luthor in his power armor in every iteration besides live action. We didn't see it in the DCEU. We obviously didn't see it before that. He wore his power armor going back as far as the Super Friends cartoon. You're telling me Lex Luthor has all? I want to see Lex Luthor finally put on his power armor and fight Superman. What's so hard?
Like it's something you save. Like I think save it. Don't come out swinging with that.
Okay, but we've been saving it for multiple iterations now. At some point, they got to.
This is the first stepping stone. I'm like, yes, do it later. Like
Okay, well, the next time we see him coming back, he better be coming back saying, "Oh, Ultraman couldn't do it, so I'm going to put on the armor and I'll do it myself." Because that is.
Maybe Lex Luthor will build it in a cave with a box of scraps or some fucking shit. I don't know.
Well, and I understand it's very Iron Man-y, but you know what? Lex Luthor was doing it at the same time as Tony Stark was back in the 70s. It's part of the character. I want to see him in the full-on green and purple armor. He had all his boys wearing it. He had Ultraman wearing it. I want to see Luthor in it, not just calling out B-55, A1. I've got bingo. I don't want to see him play bingo. I want to see him fight Superman. I'm tired of, I'll just have somebody else.
That may have been the seeds of it, because it's like he does know how to, like, he's been studying Superman for so long. Now he's going to be like, I'm going to make some power armor and actually fight this guy myself. Like, you might do that.
I'm tired of it. Needs to happen.
We could still see that eventually. Look, it's not like we've seen the last of Lex Luthor. He's going to be in this moving forward. And he's definitely angry enough now, if not at the beginning of this movie, that he's going to want another piece of Superman. We'll get that eventually. But the problem with that is we've already kind of seen Batman do the whole I'm going to build an Iron Man.
To say, like Batman did it too, so yeah.
So you want to put some distance between that, which didn't work, Martha, and when you actually have Lex do it.
So dumb.
You want to make sure that you've got a lot of time and distance between those two.
But I would agree with you if it wasn't literally part of the DNA of Luthor's character. Like I said, going back to the 70s, the fact that it's never been done on screen is a crime, in my opinion. But I'm not.
We've never had more than one movie to actually do it though, either, which really kind of sucks. Like,
well, it's just so dumb. There's so many opportunities. It's
the sure shit we're gonna keep using Jesse Eisenberg. So I mean, I don't think we're gonna have his.
There's so many super villains. There's so many Superman villains that we've never seen on screen. I don't think I would have even went with Luthor for this movie. Like there are other characters. Hell, there was a Brainiac a cameo end scene for this movie that was filmed, that was seen by test screen audiences that they didn't put on this movie. Why not bring Brainiac in? Parallax, somebody else besides Luthor. We've seen it so many times.
Didn't we already do Brainiac in the Suicide Squad?
You mean the video game? No.
The Suicide Squad. Wasn't
no, that was Starro.
Controlling everybody?
No, that was Starro in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. In the first Suicide Squad, Joker was Enchantress with her brother was the villain. In the James Gunn Suicide Squad, Starro was the main bad.
But let's see, another interesting piece of trivia that I found. You'll get a kick out of this one, Jeremy. We saw this one together. David Corenswet learned that he had landed the role of Superman while he was filming Twisters in 2024 or 2020. He filmed it. He actually shared a video with the rest of his cast celebrating it.
Nice.
One of the stories I was listening to about that was he already started to bulk up for Superman while filming Twisters. And he got so big they had to CGI digitally make him smaller to make him match the rest of his scenes for those movies. So he was on it that fast. So I don't know when both of these were shooting, but apparently they were similar times. So
I just noticed this thing on Discussing Film on Twitter. David Corenswet says Casino Royale is the greatest James Bond film ever made. Quote, one of the best movies of all time. Is he angling to maybe play James Bond? I don't know. I hope
maybe he knows his Superman days are numbered.
Maybe. Well, he's already signed on to do future films. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Okay, I found it. I was thinking of The Thinker. I'm sorry, not Star. I was thinking of the guy with the fucking bolts in his head. I thought for some reason that was.
Oh, yeah.
No. I was still wrong. But
The Thinker, he's a Flash villain, I want to say. I think he's a Flash villain.
I don't know. I forgot to mention this earlier. We were talking about the future of the franchise and all that. Shortly after the release of the film, it was reported that James Gunn and Peter Safran were considering making spin-off shows centered on Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen. I don't know why the hell you do one on Jimmy Olsen. He's barely in this movie.
Right.
Also reported that DC Studios intends to include Corenswet's Superman and DCU versions of Batman and Wonder Woman in a Justice League film. Duh. Corenswet said in an interview with Fair that he had signed on for a potential Superman sequel. But I don't know if that means sequel or appearance. Those are two very different things. But, think of that what you will.
I mean, odds are he's probably going to show up in Supergirl for something. I mean, even if it's 2 seconds, I could see that.
Now, I've told you, Tex, a lot of times, one of the funniest things on TV was Sophia Petrello from the Golden Girls. Nathan Fillion said he based his portrayal of Guy Gardner on Estelle Getty's The Golden Girls character, Sophia Petrello.
I do not understand this love for the Golden Girls. You and Drew fucking jerk off to that shit. I don't know what y'all's doing.
It's funny. It's humorous. It's scary now getting to that age. But like I said, the whole point, the whole background of Sophia's character is that before the show starts, she has a stroke. That's why she goes to live with Dorothy, her daughter. And and it explains early on in the show that one of the side effects of her stroke, which is a real side effect for some people that have strokes, is that there is no inner monologue. She thinks something and she just says it. So part of her charm over the course of the show is that she'll just randomly call Blanche a whore, or she'll call Betty White a moron.
Well, then again, that's
timing. I will have to try to find a Sophia supercut on YouTube to send to you so that you can get an idea.
Well, if anybody who's ever read a comic book that had Guy Gardner in it, he's known to be a dick character anyways. That's what I mean. That's why he's got the stupid looking bowl cut. You're supposed to not like the guy. Like, he's very obnoxious, very obtuse. That's just the way that he is. So, it works for that character.
I still liked him. I thought it was fun.
No, I like it. I like Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. He's funny because that's who he is. Yeah.
I'm really hoping that he is not just in that one scene in Peacemaker, that he's going to be in there to give it something else, because I am not a big John Cena fan really at all. I mean, as a wrestler, he was fine. I didn't really watch wrestling while he was heavily involved. He was carrying the WWE. But I mean, if he's in there quite a bit and has a solid role, not every episode, but he's in a couple episodes, it'll make that show so
well. I do know that Guy Gardner, because I was reading, Nathan Fillion said whenever he was on set for the Lanterns television show, he said fuck more times than he ever has on any production ever. So
I just saw that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what it comes of this. We'll see.
I'll put up Tex's favorite character right there while we do this next one.
Oh, fuck that dog. Nicholas, son of a bitch in a kryptonite pound.
Nicholas Hoult, Andrew Richardson, and Tom Brittany screen tested for the role of Clark Kent before David Corenswet was cast. Hoult, because of his screen test, was ultimately cast as Lex Luthor.
Well, I couldn't see him as Superman. I mean, we saw him as Beast. He doesn't fit Superman for me. He fits Luthor. He's good as Luthor.
He is
not as Batman or Superman.
Yeah,
he is good Lex Luthor.
He is very good as Lex Luthor. But Tom Brittany is the one that kind of fucks with me a little bit. I'm like, why would you even consider him? Now I remember who he is. Okay, he's got a little bit of the look. He's got some I don't know what color eyes look like, gray eyes. He's got some pretty crazy eyes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of happy with what we got. Kind of happy that we got the one we got. Much better, I believe. Let's see. Next piece of trivia. Let's see. We'll go back to Nathan Fillion for this one. Nathan Fillion heavily insisted that Guy Gardner sport the same bowl cut that he does in the comics.
Well, he doesn't always have it in the comic book. Like in more modern runs, they gave him a new hairdo, but traditionally, Guy Gardner always, like especially in the '90s, had chili bowl haircut. So yeah, it definitely it visually makes him stand out with that god awful hair. So yeah.
Yeah, I am kind of happy because we always get the better looking versions of Green Lantern. We always get the Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. We have to make him the Hollywood superstar. He's got to be totally attractive to sell. I kind of like that we got this goofier kind of looking version of him. I think it makes it better, especially with the character that he gave us. Like I said, being the Sophia Petrillo character who just speaks what's on his mind.
Well, that's what I'm curious to see in the land. Which the guy they got the coach from the Friday Night Lights TV show to play Hal Jordan. Which Hal Jordan is my favorite Green Lantern. He's the one I grew up on. I'm not excited that we're getting like a 60-year-old Hal Jordan, which means he's not going to be around very long. But I'm curious to see how he interacts with that Hal Jordan with this guy Gardner. Because, I mean, Air Force pilot to this guy Gardner, there can be some real funny moments between the two, I think. That could be interesting.
Shout out to Integrity 101. He says, new here. Hope you stick around. We'd like to have you here. I hated the new movie. He agrees with Dex. And I still watch movie every once in a while. I will still watch the first 3 Superman movies with Christopher Reeves. The 4th one's just not good. I actually still think the 3rd one with Richard Pryor is actually really funny. They just went balls deep in the comedy. It's not the best Superman movie, but it's still quite fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, and I was not big on Man of Steel when it first came out. It grew on me over the years.
Love that.
But this one, I mean, like I said, it's got its good, it's got its bad. It's a little bit. I wanted to like it more, but it didn't. He said, that being said, if you liked it, more power to you. That's how I feel. I mean, everybody's different. Yeah. I mean, movies are art. Everybody loves art and looks at art. You like what you like. It's just not for me. It felt more like Superboy than Superman, though. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
I agree.
I think they were trying to do what they were attempting to do with the Batman, the first Robert Pattinson Batman. It's like we want to see him grow into the superhero without giving you the whole.
It's like a year one Batman. It's like, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah. That's another thing, though. There's becoming a real trend in Hollywood with our heroes of, we have to make them come from bad stock. Their parents weren't good. They did it with the Waynes and the Batman. Now they've done it with the L's and Superman. Like, just both, like, differentiate a little bit. I mean, especially with the L's. Superman's whole story is a allegory of the Bible, God and Jesus, Jor-El is like God. He sends his son, and I'm not getting religious here, but the allegory is what makes Superman what he is today. And with them corrupting that, and I understand why James Gunn did it for the purposes of the story, but I still don't like what they did with the L's. I think that was a mistake. I don't think it's going to age well. More people than not that I've seen hate it, and I just, they should have left it as it was because, you can differentiate, and I understand. I think it was season 2 or 3 of Smallville where they did a similar plot storyline. But it just doesn't work. The L's were supposed to be good. They send their son to lead them, Clark, not control them and impregnate their women and kill the ones that won't serve you. Like, this is, like I said, I know Frank doesn't like the example, but I stand by my Epstein statements on that. I think I'm right on that. Whatever.
Yeah, he said, I'll have to try to find this. He said, if you guys like the Christopher Reeves film, I highly recommend Superman Redeemed. It's a fan edit that combines Superman 3 and 4 into one 90-minute film. Far superior. I have not heard of that. I will have to try.
Probably on YouTube somewhere.
Probably. I mean, I still haven't seen the that one crazy edit that they made out of the Obi-Wan series, where they apparently just made it a movie.
Just made it into a movie.
I did go see the Super Slash Man Christopher Reeve documentary that came out in theaters a couple months ago. I did go see that. That was good. But I haven't seen a fan edit of this movie.
Yeah, he said, the strongest yes, check it out. He actually uploaded it today to share with some other people. Do you want to let me know? I mean, yeah, share the link out. I mean, you can find us all on Twitter. Links in the description if you want to share it around.
Add Textifier on that.
I would love to. Yeah, I think I might have to update yours in the description. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in checking it out. I mean, like I said, I think the third one it leans way too much into the comedy, but it's still fun to watch. I mean, I was always a Richard Pryor fan growing up anyway. But fourth one, yeah, not good. But that's why we didn't review the fourth one.
Isn't the fourth one just Superman getting rid of everybody's nuclear weapons or some shit?
Yeah, I mean, the storyline I got, because, I mean, early mid-'80s, Cold War, nuclear proliferation, blah, blah, blah. That was all in the news. But at the same time, Christopher Reeves wasn't really into it. I mean, he only really did the movie.
I think
obligated. He wanted a bunch of creative control that they gave him, but then took it back while they were filming. It was just a mess.
From what I've read somewhere years ago, like Christopher Reeve only came back because he got a TV show out of Warner Brothers or somebody. I don't remember. Like it was a whole big contract thing or whatever.
I don't know. All I know is nobody wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I think they even had to like double Hackman's salary to get him to come back. He was just like, "Yeah, I'm checked out. I don't like the script." And they were like, "We'll double your money." He goes, "Cry, just sign the check."
That's the one where John Cryer is in it, right? He's in 4.
Yes.
Yeah. That sucks.
I don't know. He's John Cryer's okay in some stuff. Other stuff, he's just annoying. But back to the trivia now, so we can start to get this thing wrapped up. I have to get back to this now. Let's see. Isabela Merced, we're very familiar with her. We just broke down all the episodes of Last of Us. Jeremy and I did. She portrays Hawkgirl. She had actually previously auditioned for the title role in Batgirl, a film that was unfortunately canceled from even being released.
You dodged a bullet there, didn't you?
Yeah, it worked out well.
I'm really surprised that hasn't leaked out onto the internet yet. Batgirl.
I think what's going to end up happening is it's going to come out. They're going to release it eventually.
I think they can now because they took the tax cut.
It's hard to explain, but there's legal ways around it. They canceled the movie. They wrote off the loss on their taxes. After so many years, you can do it with a lesser penalty. So what I think they end up doing is they may kind of release it as like a special edition, whatever, maybe some kind of limited run thing on HBO Max. I don't know. You can do it in different ways. I don't know how they do it. And then they'll take the tax hit, but if it drives a lot of traffic to the streaming service, you're going to make your money. I don't know. I have a feeling one of these days it'll come out. Which form it comes out in is. Anyway.
From what I saw of it, I had no interest in seeing it. It did not look great. I mean, it's a shame because I like Brendan Fraser and I would be interested in seeing his Firefly, but I don't. From the stills and the few images that I saw, the bat suit looked horrible. It looked like it was like a CW version, which was not good. I'm good if I never see it. So.
I'm more mad that we didn't get a Firefly version. Like, give him that character. You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a Batman villain. Screw it. It's kind of obscure.
Yeah.
Let him do it again. Let him have a chance at redemption.
Oh no, Brendan Fraser's back. I mean, he's having a renaissance in his career.
Yeah, let him do Firefly again. Let him do Firefly in a proper way. Yeah. Again, like you have the joke right there. His name is Firefly, and you could have Nathan Fillion kind of cock his head to the side, like it's right there, guys.
Guy Gardner flies in. What's your name, pal? I'm Firefly. He goes, oh, I like the sound of that, or some snarky remark or something. I can say it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I guess you could say it's got a real serenity to it. You can just look at the camera.
There you go. Warner Brothers will send us paychecks. We'll write your scripts for you, people. Come on now.
We're doing it. Just take our ideas. Just cut us in on it. Let's see. Another casting that could have been Patrick Schwarzenegger actually auditioned to play Superman. Coincidentally, his father, Arnold Schwarzenegger, lobbied for the same role in the original Superman from 1978.
I want him as Batman. He'd be a better Batman than Superman.
But then we got Mr. Freeze, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
One of the names that was getting thrown around for Batman. Where the hell's my cursor on my computer? There it is. It's tripping me out for a minute. Let's see. One of the names that was getting bantied around for Batman for the longest time was Wes Bentley, the guy from Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah, he'd be good too. I like him.
I for the longest time I was. This was before. This was before the Nolan movies. He was one of the people that was kind of attached to play Batman. And I think his name came up again as they were starting this new DCEU stuff. I was just like, Wes Bentley, actually, he looks great. I think he looks like Bruce Wayne. I think he would look good under the cowl. He's got
he'd be the correct age, too, for doing the Brave and the Bold storyline with a young son as Robin. I could see that.
I've always liked Wes Bentley. I mean, obviously, Yellowstone. Great in. He was. I thought he was really good in the first playing the Devil's Son or whoever he was in the first the first Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movie.
Yeah, I mean, he played Decay or something. I think he was Decay.
Yeah, I've always liked Wes Bentley. I think he could have done it. It would have been pretty cool. But whatever. We don't always get the casting we want. Otherwise, I would have been. I would be cheering. I'd be getting excited about a Fantastic Four movie a little bit more than I am right now. But moving on to the last piece of trivia. Let's see. In the I don't have a good picture of Ultraman. Oh well, I haven't used this picture yet. Actually, maybe this one.
Just Superman. It's the same guy. No worries.
But in the comics, Ultraman is an evil alternative universe version of Kal-El. In the film, he is a Lex Luthor made clone, similar to some iterations of Bizarro.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, I don't know why we didn't just do Bizarro, because that was my first thought. I was like, you could have just done that.
I like the idea of Bizarro, but having grown up watching the Justice League cartoons from like the 70s, it's like I don't know that he's ever been done well.
Bizarro.
Yeah, Bizarro. I don't know that he could be done well in live action and not look really, really ridiculous. It's like,
well, the thing with Bizarro.
So ridiculous. You can't just put it off on being a comic book movie ridiculous. I think he would very badly alter the tone of the film, depending on how he's done. I could be wrong. They could do it. It could look great. It could work awesome. But part of me is like,
he has to look stupid, but be took seriously. He has to be a credible threat. He can't be the punchline of every joke. He can't be done in a James Gunn way. He has to be done in a serious, threatening manner. Even if he's, a couple of fries short of a Happy Meal, if you know what I'm saying. What they did, the problem with which he technically still could become Bizarro, we saw him go off into that black hole. Who's saying that he doesn't land in some phantom zone thing and it messes with his mind and he comes back someday? But the problem with using the name Ultraman is I believe they're called the Justice Lords, I think is what that is. They're an evil version of the Justice League. You have like a Johnny Quick as the evil Flash. You have Owlman as Batman. Superwoman as Wonder Woman. There's a whole nother league that you could bring over for whatever. And if they're just throwing around and wasting terms like that, they're throwing away good stuff for no reason. That's another disappointing
thing. Yeah, but I don't know. Bizarro. Like I said, I think he works for the animated stuff, but I just don't see him. Like I said, maybe they'll try it. Maybe it'll work.
It worked. Did you not watch the Superman and Lois television show that's been on like within the last year?
I have not. Look, I know a lot of people have really liked the television iterations of Superman. I have not been a big fan. My dad, my brother, Dad was a big Smallville fan. My brother watched it with him. Some episodes will do soap opera for me. The CW stuff, I was like, I mean, it's like at that point when that finally came out, I was like, I'll watch Arrow, I'll watch The Flash. The rest of these have just checked out on. I don't really want to.
Well,
I didn't like the Legend.
Bizarro can work, and Bizarro works really, really well on that Superman and Lois television show. He was played by the same actor that did Superman. He looked great. He was a serious, credible threat. I would just look up like the Bizarro scenes from Superman and Lois. You'll see what I'm talking about. It works. It can work well. It just has to be took seriously. So.
Integrity 101, I feel like I need to warn you right now. I am not Casey is Raw on Discord. You do not want to connect yourself with that particular individual. I'm kidding. Casey's not bad. Casey, like I said, he's a retard, but he's our retard. So,
Casey's the retarded cousin we keep chained up in the basement for.
I am. Your best bet to get me anything is probably on Twitter. That's what I'm on. I am not really active on the Discord right now. I've just been too busy to do anything on there. Trying to free up some time to do some other things, but right now I'm just working this YouTube that keeps me going. Casey's Raw's a gaming channel. If you want to watch some gaming stuff, go to him. Go to Derailed Gaming. Go check out a couple of gamers. Tin Septum is in there. Jeremy's wife is in there. Go check out some of the good gamers. Go check out a lot of the good movie people that are down there, and some of the other people that are in there. I got some channels listed in there. Some really cool content creators. If you like us talking about movies, you're gonna like them as well. But but be careful with Casey is Raw. He might actually be able to give you an STD through the internet somehow. I don't know how it would work. Casey will find a way. But yeah, that's all the trivia I've got for this film. Let me go ahead and get your guys' final thoughts so we can bounce out of here. I'll start with you, Tex. Give me your final thoughts on Superman.
Yeah, like I said, went in with no expectations and left as empty as I walked in. I did not enjoy this one. I cannot recommend this movie, and I'm a DC fan from day one. So disappointing on so many levels. Great ideas in this movie, but James Gunn can't get out of his own way. Just ruins it. Crypto, throw that thing in the pounds. My God, get that thing on a choke chain. I don't know what's going on with that dog. Supergirl, no thank you. I'm good. 5 out of 10 for me, and that's being generous. I want to give it a 4, to be real honest with you, but I feel like being nice today. No thank you.
Jeremy, how about you? Give me your final thoughts on Superman.
It was a fun movie. I am a little confused as to where we're going from here, so that'll be interesting. Maybe I'll downgrade from cautiously optimistic to I'm just kind of cautiously. I don't even know what.
I agree with that.
I don't know. Like I think what he just said. Like there was something here, and I'm not sure what it is. And it's like I hope that there's some direction that we're actually going in, not for like the 75th time that we're going to do this again. That we're definitely taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. So to quote a different Lex Luthor, and if you don't get that joke, I don't know if we can be friends. Yeah, you guys are laughing. You get what I'm saying. That's a deep cut joke right there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe structurally I would have done things a little differently, but I don't work in Hollywood. Just some dickhead on the internet, so I don't know. We'll see what the future brings.
Yeah, there's more good than bad in this movie. It's like 52% good and 48% bad. Like I again, there's
that shit doesn't smell that bad. It just stinks. It doesn't smell bad.
It's like when you spray lavender after you take a big dump. It smells like lavender and poo or whatever. I mean, it's like there's but look, there's a lot to work with, a lot to build on here. I really wish they would have done more building in this movie. I said a long time ago that I am concerned about this weird obsession that James Gunn has with overstuffing some characters into these movies that a lot of people have never heard of. Deep comic book fans are kind of like, why? We've seen Hot Girl prior, not a few years ago, and Black Adam. It didn't work out pretty well there. Green Lantern has got its own history. Ryan Reynolds, very famously killed.
He killed him. We don't have that Hal Jordan anymore.
Netherworldly version of himself before making that movie at the end of the first Deadpool or second Deadpool. I'm not sure where he wants to go with this right now. He's been involved with Marvel. He's seen the Marvel template, how people like Kevin Feige put that together. And it seems like he was just like, I'm going to take 1 or 2 things, but then I'm going to go off the reservation and do some other things. I don't really understand that. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about continuing this new DCU, but I am not as optimistic as I wanted to be coming out of this movie. It's still a fun movie to watch. There's a lot to like, but there's a lot to kind of roll your eyes at, and it's a little disappointing. But we'll Well, we'll see what's coming. I don't even know when the next. When is this next thing supposed to be coming out anyway?
I think Supergirl 2026.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Sure.
Either way, I'm not looking forward to it. I'll probably be real honest with you. I'm not even sure I'd go see a Supergirl movie, to be real honest with you.
I had it up here a little bit ago and I lost it. I just clicked on the Gods and Monsters. There it is.
Knowing what I know about the comics stuff.
So right now, the only stuff I see in production is Supergirl, like, apparently Clayface. The Authority just says TBA, Brave and the Bold. All it's got is Andy Muschietti. It says it's in development. Swamp Thing, directed and written by Mangold, in development. Everything else is in development. Untitled Teen Titans film, Untitled Bane and Deathstroke film, Sergeant Rock. I don't even know what the hell that's going to be. Untitled Wonder Woman
Sergeant
film.
Rock got canceled as well.
Yeah, Untitled Wonder Woman film. Who the hell knows when we're getting that? And then Untitled Justice League film, which is probably about 8 or 10 years away at this point. So, I mean, whatever. We're gonna get what we get. Hopefully, hopefully this works out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out whenever this stuff hits in theaters. But for now, we're just kind of getting ready for whatever's next. I know me and Jeremy are back here on Thursday, and then I don't even know what's coming out this weekend. I haven't looked at the calendar yet. But
I know what you did last summer. This weekend.
That's right, because they just had the premiere today in LA. I was seeing pictures of Jennifer Love Hewitt and the whole cast.
Is it not? When's Fantastic Four come out?
25th.
25th.
No, so next. Never mind.
Next weekend.
And then Naked Gun is August 1st. After that,
I'm excited.
Did y'all see the popcorn bucket for Naked Gun I posted in the group?
That's awesome.
The nice beaver. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to pick that thing
I
up.
don't know unless you've seen the first Naked Gun film from the 80s. I don't know if you'll get the joke. I don't know if they're gonna have I hope they have that joke. That'd be a nice little, like, one of those little psychic winks to the original.
Oh, did y'all get the Liam Neeson Naked Gun intro for Superman in y'all stream?
Yeah, we did. I did.
Oh, how fun was that? How fun watching a guy in his underwear. What do you say? I've got a tramp stamp of a dolphin over a rainbow or something. I forget what it was.
The marketing for that movie is hilarious and self-aware.
This may be like the second coming of Liam Neeson. I mean, because if you think about what's funny is the guy that played Frank Drebin originally in the Police Squad TV show, which was 5 episodes. He actually started out doing dramatic roles. He didn't really find his way into comedy until later in his career. So it's like he did Airplane, which a lot of people were shocked about because that was the first time he'd ever really done anything comedic. And then Airplane comes out, and then all of a sudden he was like one of the great comedians ever. And that kind of was the second coming of his career, doing that and the Naked Gun and some other things like Dracula.
What's funny about Liam Neeson, he has 2 cop movies coming out in July and August. One is a serious one, and then the other one is Naked Gun, making fun of the other movie he's doing. So he's got 2 coming out back to back. So he's still working.
When me and Frank did Airplane, we were talking about, like, we don't really make these like goofy spoof movies anymore. And I'm like, this is exactly what that is, and I hope we're actually just leaning into it, because I'm like, we need to get back to that, because this movie looks ridiculous. And again,
Scary Movie's coming back next year. All the spoofs are coming back. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, but hopefully that's going to be awesome. But thanks to my co-host.
We should do some of the old Naked Gun movies.
I know I've been trying to. The problem is like July was stacked with all this new release stuff like this and all the other stuff, and then we had already kind of made plans to do the Clerks movies. That kind of filled up time in the schedule. So what we'll probably end up doing is we'll do the Naked Gun when it comes out.
Do the new one and do the old ones after,
and then we'll do at least the first one, if not all 3 of them, because there was a little bit of a drop off in quality, but they were both still kind of goofy funny. All of them were still working.
Yeah, but you kind of have to watch 3 to at least get the OJ joke. I mean, that's pretty fucking funny.
Well, I mean, you got to read the news to get the OJ joke.
but if you don't understand, like, wait, why is OJ here? And of course, like, the kid just like, nah. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense if you don't.
I might have to cosplay with that episode with really tiny gloves on. It should be good.
It's where the suit just kind of have them sitting in your hands like that.
Also, thanks to you who voted in the YouTube poll. I'll go ahead and close that at now. I asked you guys who was your favorite Superman in the movies, not including the television Superman.
Henry Cavill.
Christopher Reeve with 68% of the vote. Henry Cavill with 18. David Corenswet got a couple of votes with 12. No love for Brandon Ruth. No votes.
Well,
all right. I mean,
it's not right to love a stalker.
Can I have a write-in? Can I have George Reeves in there?
Come on now.
Have who?
Hey, I'd say Dean Cain was great, and so was Tom Welling. I liked both of them as well. But that's his thing.
Yeah.
Putting George Reeves as the write-in.
Thanks to my co-host for being so awesome as usual. Starting with my hetero life mate, Jeremy, working the folks at home, my friend.
Yep. Like you said, we're going to keep going through the Clerks movies, so I'll be here Thursday talking about that and whatever the hell we do on next Tuesday. It's also the other day I'm here. And I don't do shit else because I'm lazy. So.
And to the shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. What do you got going on, my friend?
Oh, this weekend I'll be seeing. Well, Thursday I'll be seeing. I'm seeing. I Know What You Did Last Summer on Friday night. Excuse me. So I will post a out of theater reaction. I sent one in for Superman, but apparently it didn't go through the Twitter thing. I tried to send it 3 times, and Elon Musk and his wonderful, genius would once again let me send a message. I'm being silenced over here. So, assuming technology provides, Frank will have an out of theater reaction for I Know What You Did Last Summer on Friday night. So look forward to that as well.
As for me, you will find me and Jeremy back here on Thursday going over Clerks 2. I'll give you guys I clicked the wrong thing. I'll give you guys a quick look at the background. There's the background for Clerks 2. That's going to be a different camera setup, of course, but we'll be here doing Clerks 2. Then the week after, probably Clerks 3. And we'll pick our way through the View Askew-verse. One of mine and Jeremy's some of our favorite films come from the mind of Kevin Smith, both pre and post Heart Attack. Good Kevin Smith stuff. We're going to be breaking those down one at a time, and then obviously when Naked Gun comes out, we'll probably do those movies as well. But yeah, there's still definitely a lot of stuff coming. So come hang out with us. Very much appreciate all you guys kicking it with us. We will see you guys Thursday.
It's truth, justice, and the American way. Commie James Gunn.
One away from monetization on Rumble. One away. Go on Rumble.
Follow us on Rumble.
Help us out.
Like us. We're cool people.
Well, we kind of. I mean.
Well, except for Casey. He's not cool.
Like I said, he's a retard, but he's our retard. So. Could be worse. We could have, like Bullfrog or something like that. So.
We don't speak of such thing.
I know we really shouldn't.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.